presentation to appear on the screen. Okay, we are now recording, so I will now take the sederant for the licensing committee on Tuesday, the 30th of March 2021. Stephanie Callahan.
Here.
Andy Carmichael.
Present.
Poppy Corbett.
Here.
Mary Donnelly.
Here.
Grant Ferguson.
Here.
Thank you. Alistair Fulton.
Here.
Jerry Gray. No. I have apologies from George Greenshields. Lindsay Hamilton.
Here.
Apologies from Mark Morsham. Martin Grant Hose.
Present.
I have apologies from Martin Lennon. Richard Lockhart.
Yep.
Eileen Logan.
Yes.
I have apologies from Catherine McClymont. Kenny McCreary.
Here.
Mark McGeever. Mark McGeever. Nope. Jim McGuigan.
Here.
Davy McLaughlin. No. Julia Mars.
Here.
I have apologies from Gladys Miller. Richard Nelson. No. John Ross. No. And we have apologies from David Shearer. Bert Thompson.
Here.
Jim Wardlaw.
Here.
Okay, and I have John Bradley substituting for Gladys Miller.
Here.
Margaret Cowie substituting for Martin Lennon.
Here.
Graham Scott substituting for Catherine McClymont.
Here.
And Colette Stevenson substituting for Mark Horsham.
Here.
Okay, officers today we have Jerry Mays and Carol McKee from licensing, and Lynn Wiley, Pauline McRae and myself, Caroline, from admin services. I'll hand back to yourself, Chair.
Thank you, Lynn. Thanks. Firstly, a welcome to Councillor Fulton, who has replaced Councillor Loudon on the licensing committee, and thank you to Councillor Loudon for her service, and welcome Councillor Fulton.
Chair, you're not on video.
Oh, I don't know why that would be. Certainly my camera appears to be.
I've got her. She's all right for me.
Fine.
I think there seemed to be one or two problems just with who's able to see who this morning, Councillor Marsh.
Okay. If we can keep an eye on that, and if it does pose any issues, then obviously communicate with the clerk, and IT will be available to help. Any declarations of interests this morning? No, thank you. Okay, moving on to the minutes of the previous meeting. I would move them as a true and accurate record. Could I seek a seconder, please?
I'll second, Chair.
Thank you. Are we agreed?
Agreed.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so moving on to item 3, which is the civic government review of taxi fares. Jerry, are you able to take us through that, please?
Yep, thank you, Chair. So the report for item 3 is at page 7 in the papers. The purpose of this report is to further progress the fares review process for all zones, that's Cambuslang and Rutherglen, Clydesdale, East Kilbride and Hamilton. The recommendation to the committee today is that on the basis that no objections or representations have been received following the press and website adverts, that there should be no increase in the fares tariffs for the Cambuslang and Rutherglen, Clydesdale, East Kilbride and Hamilton zones. As members will be aware, we are required to carry out a fares review of taxi fares every 18 months. There is an agreed formula for this, and it's a statutory requirement. Even if there's no recommendation to change the fares, we still have to follow the review process. At the last meeting on the 15th of December, when this was considered, the committee agreed that, subject to any representations receives, the fares review would proceed on the basis that there would be no increase in the current tariffs. The adverts have taken place and there have been no responses received to that. And for the information of members, the current fares tariffs are set out in Appendix 1 on page 9 of the paper. So thanks very much, Chair.
Thank you, Jerry. Are there any questions or comments on this item?
Chair, Councillor Stevenson has her hand up.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for that, Jerry. I was just conscious of the formula that you referred to, which was agreed a way back in 2013, and how that's made up. And where I'm coming from here is obviously a lot more taxi companies are using electric vehicles. And, you know, hopefully that's the way we're going to move forward. And should the fees in terms of the formula reflect that? And when would the next review be on that?
Thank you, Councillor Stevenson. My understanding is that the formula, well, obviously as it states in the papers, the committee agreed that a formula would be used back in 2013. The precise details of the formula and how it's applied are worked out by the Council's Finance Department. I am not aware of that having been recently reviewed. However, if there was an impact, for example, by the increased use of electric vehicles that made it appropriate to review that formula, then certainly arrangements could be made for that to take place. I don't think it necessarily affects the decision before the committee today, but I'll certainly take that comment forward and discuss it with colleagues in finance, because unfortunately I don't have the precise details of the formula before me, so I can't advise specifically whether the increased take-up of electric vehicles would have an impact on that. It may obviously have an effect on the running costs of the taxi firms concerned, so it's something that could perhaps be factored in if the formula was reviewed. If what I can do is I can make some inquiries about that and bring it back if it requires a review of the formula itself, but that would need to be a separate matter to be considered in another report to the committee.
Okay, thanks, Jerry. I'll look forward to seeing that. That'll be good to know the background of that as well. Thanks very much for all
Thank
your
you.
help.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions or comments on this item? I'm not seeing any other hands up, so I would move the report. Could I seek a seconder, please?
I'll second that,
I'll
Chair.
second it.
All right, thank you. You can pick, Carol. Okay, thank you. Are we agreed?
Yes.
Agreed.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so there's no items of urgent business today, and I would move to exclude the press and public. I don't believe we have any press or public present today. Carol, are you able to advise?
Chair, we don't have any press and public with us, so I'll just stop the recording.
Thank you.